Rikiki, Mazda, Saturday, Sosno, this.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with God. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of God. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same, in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption to wit, the redemption of our body. I will declare the decree. The Lord hath said unto me, Thou art my son. This day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces, like a potter's vessel. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings. Be instructed, ye judges of the earth.
Rikiki, Mazda, Saturday, Sosno, this.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, of all praise and glory unto Hawa Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Makakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, and great examples for some brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing this perfect truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakadash, pushing to get up out of here, Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. All right, and what I want to get into this morning, dealing with champions, champions. And this lesson was inspired by the street teaching from this weekend, from the elder apostles and elder apostle Tahar, brought out the word champion, which we're going to get into it. Okay. And champions. All right, speak to how Shah first, that we of the elect. We are champions under Yahweh Shah. Okay. Because the Lord in these last days has a promised victory for the elect, through Yahweh Shah. Okay. So when you go here first, we'll get two definitions. Well, we'll get two precepts, and then we'll get the definition of Ratazah. Now you go to 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 1. It says, Now the days of David drew nigh, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. Be strong, therefore, and show thyself a man. Now, when you go into a couple of these words, first, when you go into this word show, all right, now as King David was getting ready to die, Okay. And King Solomon, which we know in the spirit, is Yahushua. Okay. As he's getting ready to become, next king, King David told him to show himself a man. Now, this the Hebrew word hayah. Okay. Hayah for show. It says to be, to become, to come to pass, to exist. Okay. To happen, to occur. All right. It says to come into being, to arise, to appear, to become like. You see? To exist, to be in existence. So he's telling him, look, become a man. He's telling King Solomon, look, become a man. You finna rule the kingdom now. Become a man. Okay? And it's the same path that we're all on. But ultimately, it starts with Yahweh Shai, the first, what scripture say, the preeminent. Yahweh Shai has the preeminent. So he's, all right, the champion. And if we endure and overcome this beast system, we're champions, okay, under him. And we overcome what we have to overcome. But Yahweh Shai, he's overcame. Okay, he defeated death in the flesh. Okay, he didn't bend the knee. You see, Satan came to him with a sell-out package when he was going on his fast. Okay, he didn't bend the knee. You see, so we have to overcome as well because the victory was in obedience. Yahweh Shai, his victory was in obedience, which got the victory for us all. The remnant, hopeful elect. Okay, and if we endure, overcome what we have to overcome. Okay, we're champion after our own right under Yahweh Shai. So let's go back. Now let's get this word man. Okay, in the Hebrew, it's Ayash, right? Ayash. Now, when you come down, I want you to get this main word, which is champion. Okay, champion. So part of the definition within man, the word Ayash, okay, is champion. You see that? We're going to get the definition of champion. So let's get this precept, then we'll get the definition. Because not only, King Solomon, which was Yahweh Shai, charged with being man. Okay? And you charged with being a champion in spirit. Okay? You go to Isaiah. You go to Isaiah 46. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, verse 8. It said, remember this and show yourselves men. Bring it again to mind, O you transgressors. And this speaking to us. Remember this and show, okay, to become, to exist, to come into being yourselves men. Because we learn how to be men in the truth. We really learn how to be men in the truth. We understand what to fight for. See, we didn't understand what the fight was. Okay? And it's a fight of faith, it's a fight of righteousness. Okay? Because we're coming into some times that we're gonna have to endure and overcome. You see? We're gonna have to deal with, the obstacles and overcome. You see, because the characteristics of a champion, because it's the same when you go here, just as Yahweh Shai was told to show himself a man. King Solomon, which is Yahweh Shai, was told to show himself a man by capable. We've been tasked with the same thing. Okay? And you go to Isaiah 46 and 8. And so you get this word men. Okay, to show that it's the same word. word Ayash, which goes into um, of being a champion. Okay, it's the same word that's in Kings. You see, he said to be a man to show masculinity. He said champion, a great man. You see, champion, the same word. Okay, so now let's deal with the definition for champion. Let's go here. I might have canceled that. Let's see. Now you go here in the Adam online for champion. All right, I want to get this definition. The word has been borrowed early by Old English as kemper, the sporting sense, in reference to first place. Okay, first place performer, one who has demonstrated superiority to all others in some matter decided by public contest or competition. Okay, and you have to understand, this is likened it to a competition. That's why even Apostle Paul, he spoke about what's striving lawfully. And he was speaking about, he was comparing the truth to like a sport. They had the games back then, during the time of the Greeks. Okay. And he was speaking about pressing on towards the prize. Okay, which is the kingdom, the new bodies, salvation, that's the prize. Okay. And there's certain things that we're going to have to overcome to show ourselves that we have superior faith. We have superior trust in our power. Okay. In the worst times, we're going to have to show, let's say superior faith. I'm saying Yahushua was an example of that, as he was willing, to die based on being obedient. You see, we have to have superior obedience in the clutch, man. And that's and the Lord's going to reward us with superiority in earth. Okay, that's why even as it says, one who has demonstrated superiority to all others in some matter decided by public contest or competition. Yeah, and see, what we're doing is on display. Just like, a sporting event will be in front of a crowd. Well, we're doing this in the midst of the masses, man. You see, it's going to be known that certain men, she overcame against the odds. You see? So when you, let's say, first place performer, made me think of this. Let's go here. And you go into Revelation 14. Two precepts made me think of Revelation 14 and 4. Get to the point. It says, these are they, Revelation 14 and 4, these are they which will not defile with women. And it's speaking about false doctrines. False doctrines can be seducing, like an attractive woman. These are they which will not defile with women. Okay, even like America being likened to a whore. Okay, is America a literal, woman, a whore? No, it personifies a whore. Okay, and it says like false wisdom, false doctrine. Okay, a strange doctrine can be likened to a woman. You see, seductive and deadly. Okay. It says, for they are virgins, which means as we awoken to the truth, we we're born again in the truth. We didn't defile ourselves with other doctrines, man. Okay. We stay faithful to the way. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being first fruits unto the Most High and to the Lamb. So you get this word, first fruits. See. And so get this word, first fruits. In the Greek is
Strong's G 536. Aparche. Aparche.
Yep. Now, when you go to the last definition, what does it say? It says person superior in excellence, okay, to others of the same class. So even amongst Israel, the first fruits, okay, are those superior spirits. 144,000 are those superior spirits, even of those of other Israelites. Okay, and that's why as hopeful elect, the first fruits, we've been tasked. Okay, we've been tasked to go above and beyond. It's more required of the first fruits. You see, the Lord is balanced. Okay, and how God he has the highest office, and he had to go through the much. He had to overcome. All right, the most. You see, as we're following the Lamb, well, we're following him in that process. The process he went through to be perfected, because he was perfected in suffering. Okay, then he got the victory, man. We're being perfected through suffering, and then we're going to get the victory, man. You see? So it said, person superior in excellence to others of the same class. All right? Those champions, man. You see? And that's why, and it's not a thing of boasting. It's a thing of understanding that the Lord, created us as a nation to be superior. And within the nation, there's superior spirits within the nation of Israel. Okay? And it's a lot expected. Okay? Of those spirits in these last days to overcome the more. Okay? And you go here. When you go to Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 19. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 27 said, then answered Peter and said unto him, behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What should we have therefore? Okay, so as Peter is requiring, like, we forsaken all. We let everything go to follow you. And see, this is the spirit the elect will be in. So there's certain things you would abandon. We come into the truth, man. Certain things that we abandon to follow Yahweh. Okay? And say some brothers are required to let go more. Well, he ain't involved. There'll be not a lot, man. There's certain things that we're required to abandon when we follow Yahweh. Okay? And it's all through faith, man, because we understand following Yahweh ain't no loss, only gain. You see? So when you go to verse 28, it says, and Yahushua said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And everyone that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive an hundredfold, and shall inherit everlasting life, man. So there's no such thing as a loss in Yahweh. You see, the flesh look at certain things as lost, the spirit don't. And that's why to really be a champion, we gotta be in the spirit. Okay? But the flesh has, holdups, compromise. Okay? But in the spirit is uncompromised, and the spirit is about the agenda. Okay? The spirit is about serving, about faith, about patience, sacrifice. The spirit is about overcoming. That's why Yahushua said the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. The spirit is willing to do what needs to be done to overcome as a champion, man. You go into even certain, sports, boxing, you might have a fighter that don't have nothing left. You see, he gassed. His flesh is finished. You see, but they muster something up. Because the spirit, because the way when because the flesh has a limitation, with the spirit kick in. I've seen few UFC matches where one guy was gassed, man. Okay, wasn't over to overcome. He will muster up some energy from somewhere, man, and you pull it from the spirit, man. You see, it was something that's a drive within them. Now it's a vain thing, sports. Okay, but it's a demonstration of what we got to be in the spirit. A lot of times in the truth, man, we got to pull from the spirit, man. These bodies are limited. You see? And when you go into verse 30, it's the point that many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. And this is a major upgrade in the earth. It's going to be a major promotion. This is going to be a great demotion for Esau and a great promotion for the elect of Israel. But right now, Esau's first. Right now, he's been the champion of this world. You see, he's been able to be superior through his military, his economics, witchcraft. Okay, but now we're seeing that the Lord is starting to bring Esau down. And Esau is coming down. There's a remnant that's coming up. There's a remnant that's being built up. Okay, you see, we're on the way to first. We're coming from behind, because we're coming from going back like horse racing, man. Imagine like horse racing. We've been that horse at the back of the pack. We've been behind the back of the pack. Okay? There's this, it's the truth. One thing about the truth, man, you can feel, the upgrade. You can feel that we're becoming something. You see? And now, hey, we on Esau Hill, like I said, Jacob Hill, Esau Hill. Now we on his heels. The first place horse, we on his heels now. Okay? So when you go into the word first, going back and remember what champion means, what's superior, first place. Okay? So you go to the word 144. All right? 44, 13, 144. Okay, which is the Greek word protos. Okay, and what does it go into? It says first in time or place in any succession of things or persons, first in rank, influence, and honor. First in rank, influence, and honor, chief, principal. Okay, first at the first, man. Yeah, so champions, man. You see, how shy the champion, man. And if we overcome what we have to overcome, we will be champions after the order of Yahushua, man. Yahushua taught us how to be champions, man. He locked in. You see, he you look at Yahushua, his life, he tapped into obedience. He didn't get caught up on side missions. Okay. He didn't have a lot of entanglements. He didn't get emotional when Jake was coming against him. Okay. He knew what he had to do on the cross, after he seen there was no other way. He girded up his loins and did what he had to do to finish out, man. He took on the suffering, he rejected the numbing agent they tried to give him on the cross. Okay. He understood he had to feel that, man. You see, he embraced the suffering. So as we look at Yahweh, we're looking at Scripture say the author and finisher of our faith. You see, he set the tone for obedience in the midst of suffering. Because the assignment was the cross. So he knew he had to deal with that suffering, and he was perfected. He overcame, he even conquered, death, man. You see, he conquered death. Okay, this is the book of St. John. Let's see. Chapter 16. 33, it says, "These things have I spoken unto you, that you might have peace. In the world you shall have tribulation," their resistance, man. But what do champions do? They fight through. You see, because champion all ain't based on the best athlete, the highest, IQ. Okay. Champions, one thing you see when they're champion, they know how to weather. Okay, the storms are the thing. You see, they know how to weather the storms of whatever they're competing in. They know how to deal with the storms, that tribulation. It's going to take a mental, all right. It's going to take a mindset, a strong, okay, mindset, man. You see, certain athletes, they can be better athletes, but they get broken in tribulation. They get discouraged in tribulation. A champion know how to fight through it. And get to the point, hey, you learn how to thrive in it. See, Yahushua, he went through tribulation. All right, he showed himself a man on the cross. He said, "But be of good cheer, I have overcome the world." So Yahushua has already overcame this world. This world didn't get the best of Yahushua. You see, he got the best of Adam. He got the best of King Solomon. Okay, towards the end, but it didn't get the best of Yahushua. You see, Yahushua, he showed himself a man. Okay, he was concerned about duty. You see, he was concerned about duty over everything, over his own interests, over the flesh, over the ego. No, he's concerned about the assignment, man, and he overcame. He went through his tribulation, overcame, and now we're going through our tribulation to overcome, to be those champions alongside Yahushua. You see, that's why you go into 1 John chapter 4. Yep, 1 John 4:4, 8144. Okay, all right, man. And it says, "Ye are of the Most High little children, and have overcome them, because greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world." Yes, so the Spirit of Yahushua resides in us. We have a champion in us. You see, we have a driving force that's pushing us beyond. All right, this tribulation, man. Even being faithful unto death, man. That's still a victory for the elect. Everything is a victory for the elect if we endure. You see, and the elect was built to endure. The elect have Yahushua, and the elect have the champion, the spirit of the champion in them. So we got something, that's within us is greater than, the pool of this world. Okay, the cares of this life. There's something in us that's greater than that. Okay, there's nothing that Esau can offer the elect because we have something greater than it already. You see, and you get this word overcome. Yep, that's where you get that. So, not chaos. Where you get the word Nike. You see how you pronounce?
Strong's G 3528. Nikao. Nikao.
Where you get the word Nike as well. Okay, it says to conquer, to carry out the victory, to come out victorious. Okay, to come out victorious. You see, to conquer, to subdue. The main thing in the spirit is subduing the flesh. You know, the flesh has its own agenda, and one of the main things that we have to triumph over is the flesh, man, and this ego and this agendas and side missions. Now, man, we got to conquer it. We got to prevail. You see, because there's a time when I say the devil was going to roll out this hour temptation. It's the championship round. When the C hip is mandatory, that's going to be what they call the championship rounds. Okay, and in boxing, last 3 rounds, rounds 10 through 12, because then it gets to the point, okay, who got something left in the tank? Okay, who still got the chin to endure? Who got the So now, man, we got the victory. We gonna conquer in Yahushua, man. There's something greater in us that's gonna cause us to conquer. There's something in us, man. That's why we gotta feed Yahushua, tap into Yahushua. You see, going down the clutch. Now, let's go from there because even what Yahushua did in his flesh, he conquered death. He overcame death, man, for us all. He was our champion because, just like King David, he was a champion. They wouldn't fought Goliath. He wouldn't fought Goliath on behalf of all of Israel. Just as Goliath, he went out to fight on behalf of all the Philistines. Okay? Well, Yahushua, he was sent down to fight for all the elect of Israel, for his nation. Okay? And what he did got us all the victory over death until there's a point when we're going to be changed. Okay? That's why when you read it started 52, it says, start 51 said, behold, I show you a mystery, we shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. Everyone's not going to die. You're going to have martyrs. Okay, those that die believing in Yahushua. That's their victory. That's the victory of having a record of being faithful unto death, man. There's a victory in that. You see, it says in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible. Yes, so those that died for Yahushua with their testimony are going to be raised incorruptible, which is immortal. They're still going to get their reward of a champion, man. One who has overcame. You see, because they overcame in their life. And it says, and we shall be changed, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and the mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory, man. You know, we'll, man. Death is Yahweh Shai, okay, who paved the way. You see, going back to him being what a pioneer of our faith. You see, and what did he conquer death, man? You see, and he was perfected to where he can't die anymore, he can't sin anymore. You see? So we're coming to the point to where we're going to be changed on new bodies that can't sin. That's victory over death. Okay? But we have to make it through what? The tribulation of this age. Verse 55 says, "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks be to the Most High, which giveth us the victory through our Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, which gives us the victory." You see, so we're following Yahweh Shai on a way to overcome it, being perfected into a victory, even over death, man. You know? That's why we give thanks already to Yahweh Shai, man, because the victory, we just got to believe in the victory and move accordingly, man. And we believe in the victory, we believe what we're going to get in Yahweh Shai, man, make us move different. It changes our desires, it changes our wants, man. We move different, we believe in the victory of Yahweh Shai, man. You know, that through Yahweh Shai, man, we're going to overcome all this, man. You see, verse 48 said, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." Yeah, we know our labor is not in vain. You see? So we're instructed to be unmovable, you see, steadfast, and abounding, going above and beyond. And that's the thing, too. Someone that's a champion, well, there's a different regimen. You know, you get a certain level of athletes, okay? Those that play at the championship level, they have championship level training, championship level regimen. You see? So in the spirit, you know, we should be steadfast, okay, and unmovable. You see? And this faith is making us unmovable. You know, there's nothing to talk about. There's no negotiating. You know, our faith is being built up to the point that there's no negotiating, man. There's nothing to discuss. Okay? More willing we go into Jacob's trouble with this momentum, the hour of temptation with this momentum. Okay? It says always abounding, with going back to abounding, which goes beyond. So we should be, I say we should have an elite, okay, mindset. Okay, you should have a champion mindset, superior mindset. Okay? For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord, man. It's not in vain. It's going to be an eternal reward. Okay? For a moment of tribulation is working like an eternal reward. You see? So, yeah, just wanted to tap into that, you know, once I went into that word, after the apostles, you know, looked it up this weekend at camp. So, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards young brothers, and peace and blessings and salutations to the whole collection.